Hello again, friends.
And you are friends.
You're listening to the Honor Forever podcast. My name is Ian. You may know me as Flex Donovan, and this week I am the host of this show. Together with me is my friend and the star of the show, Joshua Moose Hadley. How's it going, Moose?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, very nervous, as you know.
Man.
I'm not excited to do the podcast.
You know what? I think you'll do a better job than of hosting this show than Luther did as a manager. I'll say that.
Right well, now. Low bar, but I appreciate the confidence. So, did you have something you wanted to talk about that's not Ring of Honor related?
So, I heard the news. I saw the rumors rather that at Elimination Chamber, Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley faced each other in a match. And
yeah, I heard that rumor too.
Brock got himself disqualified, so he did have to wrestle Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. I gotta say, for that, Brock's my hero, because, screw Bray Wyatt. That whole stick is stupid. There's no reason, to get his stink on him. Too bad for Bobby, though.
Yeah, but why didn't Bobby just say no, too? Why doesn't everybody just say, I don't know?
Someone would, want to do it.
Yeah. In fact, that's a great litmus test. If you're trying to weed out some guys from your roster, figure out who wants to do it, fire them all, and then fire Bray Wyatt.
Exactly. It's like, well, do you wrestle Bray Wyatt in a Mountain Dew pitch smack? But then we gotta fire LA Knight. He's so good.
Did he want to do that, or did he feel like he needed to?
I feel like he needed to.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, I don't think he wanted to do that.
I mean, if he said no, they will have brought up back when he was in the Border Patrol with Brian Cage, and that will open the whole can of worms.
Yeah, but also that guy, he did get run out of Impact Wrestling for not wanting to wrestle women, so another instance where he, pulled rank and was like, hey, I don't need to do this, this is weird. Might get him, there's only so many places you can work.
Yeah, especially after the pandemic, so many promotions don't exist anymore.
And barely any of them pay.
Yeah, shoot. Well, anyway, you said you had some TNA news?
Well, it's not news, but the main event of this past week was Jonathan Gresham versus Kushida. Which I heard that and I thought, wow, that would be a great Ring of Honor match. Isn't it weird it's not on Ring of Honor?
Yeah, that's so... Well, I remember Jonathan was upset at, was it Death Before Dishonor? And he had to go.
Yeah.
Was it him having to lose the title, or was it him being in the opening match? What was the deal with that?
I don't know fully. I think a lot of it was probably his weird heel turn, so he could wrestle Lee Moriarty on, Rampage, and then get squashed.
Oh, yeah, I would have been upset too.
Yeah, I thought he was in the right. So you ready to get to the show?
Yeah, there was actually a real opening this week.
Spoiler alert, for anyone that has not seen this week's episode, we're going to talk about all of the things. So if you want to watch it before you hear about it, shame on you, because this show is a lot better. Probably.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it yet, but it's probably better.
Yeah, well, no, you have to listen to find out.
Yeah, listen to this show. Whether you listen to it before or after you watch the show, listen to this show all the way. Then comment below. Was it better? And then even if you didn't watch it, just say it was better. That'll make me happy.
I'm just going to say it. This will get someone to comment. NFTs suck.
There you go.
Exactly.
We started with Tony Deppen challenging Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor TV title. Samoa Joe retained in 5 minutes and 28 seconds via a muscle buster. Moose, what'd you think?
Before the match started, I thought it was interesting. This was taped before the pay-per-view. So Joe only came out with the Ring of Honor title. So they did have some planning.
But not enough to tell the announcers.
Yeah.
They didn't have a clue.
I liked the match. I felt like Joe gave Tony too much. It should just been a squash. Tony did like a little bit of a comeback, but I thought the match was fine. And Tony, like I think he's okay, and that's not like to me like if this was the old Ring of Honor, you couldn't have main event with this.
Oh no, but losing a 5.5 minute match to Samoa Joe on TV, he's more than qualified to do that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did you feel? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say then. Joe went on the mic and was that an open challenge? I believe.
I'm not sure. Was it an open challenge?
I think so.
I guess he sort of was like
people to fight.
Yeah, I guess it's an open chat. Well, an open challenge sort of implies he means for that night. He just was sort of saying that he's the best and he needs people to challenge him. But before we get to who came out to answer that challenge, were you disappointed like I was that Bobby Cruise did the introductions for the title match while they were coming out to the ring, rather than them being in the ring?
I didn't even think about it. I just... I've seen so many episodes of Dark. This ain't exactly the same thing, but it has that flavor.
One of my notes from my original document was, "This is formatted exactly like Dark."
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Who answered the challenge? It was Mark Briscoe. Are you excited for that?
Mark. Yeah, I love Mark. I thought, I even liked his little... I don't know if you want to call it... it doesn't make sense to call it a promo. I like the way he answered it. Joe was good too. And that's a match to be excited for, I believe.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited. I love Mark Briscoe. I like Mark Briscoe as a singles wrestler. As great as the Briscoes were as a team, they were pretty good as singles wrestlers too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't get that a lot with tag team specialists, where both guys are... And Mark, he's not a main eventer or hasn't been to this point in his career, but he's very good in the role he had.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's someone that competed for the TV title before. It's not like this is just something out of the blue. Yeah, I'm going after the TV title. No, it's something he's challenged for, and I believe. Did you say this on the podcast? It's he's always envisioned himself him and his brother being the world champion and him being the television champion of the promotion.
Yes, I've heard him. I shouldn't say I've seen him. I've heard him say that on several occasions, including when Jay was champion, that he never wanted to be world champion because that was his brother's belt. He wanted to be the TV champion.
And back when Jay Lethal was champion for a year, that really made the title as important, maybe sometimes even more so than the world title. That definitely would have been such a great thing in time to do that. Although we didn't know what would happen.
Did you know that I was there for that, for when Lethal lost the TV title?
Yeah, you were talking about Roderick Strong.
That's the best. That's the best.
Yeah.
You ready to move on?
No, but let's do it.
Okay. Between matches, we got a backstage promo from Dalton Castle where he targeted the Embassy and their, quote, fanny burp of a manager, Prince Nana.
Yeah.
After that, we got Dalton Castle and the boys versus Cody Chun, Guillermo Rosas, and Marcus Kross. Castle and the boys won in 5 minutes, 30 seconds after Castle hit the bangarang on Rosas. What'd you think?
This was a fun match. Wasn't a total squash. But my problem with Dalton Castle, it's not even him. It's just the thing with the boys is so old to me, and it feels like him doing this thing with the boys sort of holds him back as a character in wrestling. It's still 5-6 years ago he was doing this gimmick. It was dropped, and now he's back to it. I can get it if it's the boys. His thing with the boys definitely helped him get over and set him made him different than other wrestlers in the promotion at the time. Could it be doing the same thing here to the new audience at Universal Studios? Maybe. If it was me booking, I wouldn't do it. But whatever.
I wonder, can he be a full-time singles wrestler with the way his back is? I wonder if they use the boys just to protect his back so he doesn't have to take as many bumps.
Well, if I was the promoter, then I just wouldn't book him. Like, but then I wouldn't have a trios division either.
Yeah, well, we agree on that. I would book him, but I recently watched Dalton Castle take on Kushida at War of the Worlds 2016, and my big takeaway from that match was, if he had never hurt his back, he would be one of AEW's biggest stars. He seems like Tony Khan's dream wrestler.
Huh, maybe. I don't know what the...
He's like a combination of Adam Page and Orange Cassidy.
In the good way.
In the Tony Khan way.
Let's see.
Did you have any...
I do... I do, like, I seen it before on Dark. I do like the thing where he launches the boys.
Yeah.
So they do suicide dives. Other than that, I thought it was a fun match. I'm not really into the trios division, but whatever. This is AEW Ring of Honor or whatever we're gonna call it, so it's to be expected.
We got to work in the word dark in there somewhere. Do you have
Ring of Honor Dark?
Yeah,
the Dark Ring of Honor.
Do you have any thoughts on Cody, Chun, Guillermo, Rosas, or Marcus Kross?
I like the kung fu bit the guy had with Dalton at the beginning. I thought they were okay.
Yeah, they were fine.
I don't know if we'll probably see him again as job dudes.
I'm sure. I mean, as we'll see in this match, Tony Khan loves to have the same guy lose, or in his show, I should say. He loves to have the same guys lose hundreds of times.
Just like someone in the next match here.
Well, before that match...
I forgot. I really enjoyed this too. Go ahead.
Before this next match, we got a Kingdom promo backstage. They're going for the tag team titles, and they're mad at Top Flight. What did you think about the promo, and what is your opinion on what seems like an impending Kingdom versus Top Flight feud?
I love this promo. I thought they were great. They had great, memorable lines here, like, talking about Matt saying, my favorite color ain't purple, it's gold. Whatever he calls the people, it's funny.
Melvins.
Melvins, Maria, same thing. These people say diamonds are a girl's best friend, but, gold creates a legacy. I thought those were fantastic lines. It makes, I hope they're the stars of the tag team division. They're former Ring of Honor tag team champions. They were in the, of course, the champions, so they were in the past Ring of Honor, and right now, they are definitely, I'm just thinking they are probably the best tag team in Ring of Honor right now. They might be the best tag team in AEW if they were there more.
I don't know. Maybe. I liked the promo too. I've always been big Taven and Bennett fans. I like Maria being involved. I don't know how I feel about a feud with Top Flight. Can they do a feud with Top Flight? Isn't the one hurt?
I think that's funny. I think that's something you can always say about Top Flight. Isn't the one hurt?
That should be their promo every time somebody comes back. It's a blue moon. We're both healthy. Nah, an injury angle.
Oh man, that sucks because I do like I wouldn't say he's good, but I feel like someone like Dante Martin has potential.
Oh yeah, they both have potential. They're hurt.
Well,
all the time.
I didn't see the other one because he was injured, so I wouldn't know. I've never seen his brother wrestle. I don't even know who's his brother. Are they brothers? Yeah, I never recall seeing him wrestle. I've only seen Dante tag team with Matt, and or he always seems like when one's injured, they all seem to have a replacement brother to team with, like Matt Sydal or whatever.
Oh man, they need Lance Von Erich.
Oh, definitely, that'd be amazing.
I think he just died though, didn't he?
Make a
Future Justin, check that out. Did
Yeah.
Lance Von Erich just die? And if so, put an RIP on the screen.
Who was the fake Von Erich in MLW? I forget, dude.
Bro, come on. I watched one episode of MLW because you asked me to.
I forget which episode. Was Jim on commentary?
It was one of the battle riots, I think.
Jim was probably on commentary.
Anyways, up next we had Angelico and Serpentico with Dr. Luther versus Rush and Dralistico. Dralistico pinned Serpentico in 9 minutes and 16 seconds after hitting a destroyer, and I am dying to hear your thoughts on this match.
So, why are the Spanish Announce Project like? I mean, why are they the Spanish Announce Project like? I can't see this team even lasting much longer if they're done.
What team? What team?
Yeah, what team? What team?
The Spanish Announce Project is Serpentico and Dr. Luther, not Angelico, right? It was Angelico with the Spanish Announce Project. Am I wrong?
Well, I don't even know.
I think it's a team name without a team.
So for a while, I did enjoy like La Faccion beating the shit out of these freaking guys. They're so bad. Like Serpentico. I'm sorry, this was later on, but he reminded me of something. He's the guy that he wrestled twice on the show.
If you could call it
Serpentico's
wrestling.
awful. Angelico, not good. I wanted to say for a second real quick, we got Angelico, no Jack Evans on the show, even though it's Ring of Honor. That's interesting, probably for obvious reasons.
The only note I had on this is Angelico should fight Tony Khan for putting him with the Spanish Announce Project.
He's better than Serpentico and Luther. Luther, do you remember this? Like if he's a manager on the show more often, like this could be the one time. But if he's back, like I'm sorry, Gopher, Luther is worse than Mark Sterling as a manager. He made a shriek.
Yep.
And I just was wondering, like, what the hell was that? Like, what was even the point of that? Like,
okay. So we both listen to the Jim Cornette podcast. You more than me, but we both listen to it. And he refers to the AEW wrestlers a lot of times as cosplay wrestlers. Dr. Luther is cosplaying as Ralphus.
Who's Ralphus? I forget.
Chris Jericho's manager in ECW.
Oh yeah, the guy that picked his nose.
Yep. Dr. Luther is actually a cosplay wrestler.
But didn't he start before Ralphus?
Okay.
So
Ralphus beat him to national TV by 25 years.
True. Yeah, Luther. I mean, okay, so yeah, you already gave the results. So you remember, like, did you see, like, after La Faccion won and Rouge punched Dr. Luther, like, he just sort of stood there, like, he was too tired to sell. Like, what even happened? Man, that edict by Tony Khan, you're not allowed to hit your coworkers. Rouge must have felt that, because I remember Triple H on that Tough Enough show. If somebody had sold a Triple H punch like that, Triple H right now would have punched him in the head for real. Yeah, I'm so shocked Rouge didn't fucking just nail that guy. If he hears this, you only didn't get nailed because you're Chris Jericho's friend. That's it. I figured it's because he's an old man. Like, they punch him like a mummy or something.
Rouge really should have fucking hauled off and nailed him.
Yeah, I mean that's like if Luther was healthy, that would have been super disrespectful. Like, there's no reason like he should even be in AEW. Like, he ain't in shape. He's not even, he can't even manage. They were out there for 10 minutes, and it's not like he's running around the ring trying to cheat for his tag team.
But what is the point of a heel manager if they can't take bumps?
I think the only point is to, like, if you have a great talker, like, that might be it.
Okay, what is the point of Dr. Luther being on this show if he can't take a bump?
Oh, you gotta give Chris Jericho's friend a job. That's it.
Well, a job he has.
I wish he didn't.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be a good answer for a question later on.
Why don't they just, we didn't do that. We could definitely drop Luther, on his head or something. But, why, if he needs to have a job, let him serve the popcorn. Let him work the popcorn machine. Do that.
Do you think he could?
If he can't learn that, send him back to Canada.
Are you ready to move on?
I've been ready to move on. But
next up on this show was Billie Starkz with a Z against Trish Adora. Before the match started, I thought about the ROH Pure Title Tournament where they produced introductory videos for every participant to get fans acclimated to new people and up to speed on the goals of the people they already knew. Wouldn't that have been nice for this show and for last week's show? Because nobody in the crowd knew who Trish Adora was.
Yeah, I only remembered her because I watched Women of Honor Wednesday.
Adora won the match in 5 minutes and 40 seconds after hitting a move she calls Lariat Tubman. What'd you think?
I like Trish. This match was fine, just sort of there. Hopefully this means they're going to do something with her. Otherwise, it's sort of a waste of our time. If not.
Yeah, I don't understand. If you think the 18-year-old girl has so much potential, she should be getting these reps not on TV. You can't have her be losing in the mid-card of the C show, and then, in 20 years, she's our big star. Whatever. It's their show.
I think some people could get away with, Triple H was able to, get the stink of Terror Rising off him, and losing to the Ultimate Warrior in 20 seconds at WrestleMania.
That's true. But that also happened at WrestleMania instead of on, Ohio Valley Wrestling, doing jobs to the Boogeyman or I don't know.
Luther.
Yeah. Somebody's got to do a job to Luther. You have any other thoughts?
Trish Adora's hot. I don't care what you say.
It's a good thought. After that, Christopher Daniels is backstage and announced
the old man.
He's asked Matt Sydal, an old tag team partner, to be his new tag team partner here in Ring of Honor. Good idea.
Yeah, I like this. We gotta do something with Christopher and him teaming with Matt. It means we won't have to watch him be the old man in the ring too much. And yeah, this Ring of Honor needs some tag teams. This team coming up ain't doing it for me. I'm telling you. Okay.
Well, after that we got Jake Crist and Jake Manning versus Ari Daivari and Slim J.
Did you say Jake Manning? I didn't see anyone named Jake Manning there. There was Jake Crist without his brother teaming with Man Scout.
Yeah, but Man Scout is Jake Manning, right?
I mean, the graphics. Who's Jake Manning? I saw Man Scout out there. He was even reading his little book. Being the fucking dumbass he is in the ring while trying to grapple.
Okay, on this Ring of Honor show, we got Jake Crist and Man Scout versus Ari Daivari and Slim J, who is now somehow not the biggest loser in a match. The Trustbusters got the win in 2 minutes and 48 seconds when Slim J made Man Scout submit to an STF. After the match, Metalik and Blake Christian attacked the Trustbusters. Do you have thoughts?
I was so happy. At first I was like, no, they can't be doing this when Smart Mark Sterling entered the ring with a microphone, and I was like, oh no, this can't be happening. But then he said, my client Daivari has something to say, and I was like, thank God, there is a God. And I was so I'll talk about the match, but the post-match is more interesting to me. So I thought it gets very AEW of them to say, Metalik was here and I beat him up, and right away, he runs out there and his music plays for attack.
Right. Just the segment before, there was continuity with Christopher Daniels calling back an old tag team partner, reminding the fans, hey, I lost this stipulation match that says I can't team with Kazarian. And then they're like, hey, remember how we tried to get you to suspend disbelief? Nope.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and after that, the Blake Christian one was even more ridiculous. Like, he's running out there and they gotta play his music. Like, why do you have to play their music?
Who cues the music in Ring of Honor? Is that BJ Whitmer?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Well, I'm gonna have to send him a letter. My no. Do you have any thoughts on the match itself?
So, like I said, whoever starts with Man Scout, the idiot is like has like before that, like he's reading out of a book. Like, okay, he has a gimmick, he's playing it fine, but then like they're starting the match, they're gonna lock up. You know, they're doing the things where they're like reaching for each other's hand, and the fucking asshole is like has the book in his ring. Like, I felt like if I was one of the Trustbusters, which oh. I want to just
Shudder
just like with Rush, like what happened with Rush and Dr. Luther. Like, what Man Scout here was even more disrespectful in my opinion. I probably would just beat the shit out of him there.
My counter to that is I think that Man Scout could unironically beat either of them up.
Maybe.
I think they would be made to look like even bigger fools if they. I mean, everybody in this match got under. So.
What happened to Jake Crist's brother, by the way? Where's he at?
He was canceled. I don't want to. I don't remember exactly what, so I don't want to say and get sued. But it was something serious, and maybe, and I'm saying maybe, that it was sexual assault related.
Oh man.
Yeah, serious enough that Jake Crist is not wrestling with his brother, and you know. I thought
not even in TNA.
Exactly. They were pretty Pac-Man over in
Jones
TNA.
Yeah. And they had Pac-Man Jones as tag team champion.
They took Jeff Jarrett back after the gold scam too.
Yeah.
I thought the most interesting part of this matchup was when Ian Riccaboni said Slim J once wrestled Bushwhacker Luke in Ring of Honor.
Oh yeah, that happened. I forgot about that. Like, I know both were there at the same time. I just forgot that was the match that happened. When we got Dr. Luther, why can't we get Bushwhacker Luke?
I'm guessing they're too old.
Well, Dr. Luther is too. Like, the Trustbusters are the worst stable in pro wrestling. Like, maybe if Spanish Announce Project actually does continue, that'll be the worst. But like.
Maybe they could combine.
Might as well. Yeah, let's get the Spanish Announce Project, the Trustbusters, and whatever
the
Matt
Trustbuster
Hardy's
Project.
Whatever Matt Hardy's doing, he can do it too.
Oh, that would take it to the next level.
Exactly.
All right. Next up was Timothy Thatcher challenging Wheeler Yuta for the Ring of Honor Pure title. The judges for the match: Christopher Daniels, Colt Cabana, BJ Whitmer. Yuta won the match in 12 minutes and 37 seconds using an illegal closed fist punch. What did you think?
First thought, it's like, I've seen judges for matches before. I just remember this now thinking about it. The only time I could remember active wrestlers being judges is when for in TNA, Christopher Daniels, once again, Christopher Daniels is Curry Man, Shark Boy, and Super Eric were judges for some kind of match. Like, that's the only time I can remember. Although I might be wrong. Like, an active wrestler being a judge for a match, that's strange to me.
When they brought back the Pure title, they were using active wrestlers just a couple of years ago in Ring of Honor. But that was during COVID, and I didn't think they could bring too many people in for those tapings.
Yeah. I mean, Tony likes the legends, and there's so many people employed. Like, why not?
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, other than
Any thoughts on the match?
I liked this match. I liked Wheeler's heel work. You know, the thing where he got the final rope break and he fucking opened his mouth like, yeah, and slobbered. That was gross, but you know, he's being a heel, so fine. I like the match. You know, I think Wheeler in ring is good. Not great, but he's not Timothy Thatcher good, but whatever. Uh, yeah, I really enjoyed the match. I enjoyed the pure rules. I feel like they add to the match, and Wheeler, what sucks is like it's incredible how much they could get out of like a closed fist, and like a couple nights before they had that Texas death match where they like do everything to each other. It's kind of like strange. Like, how are we supposed to take something like that?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's totally like like I mean, it is the same universe, but like two. It's not two different. It is like two different worlds. It seems in terms of thinking and match style, but it's like at one end we're gonna do everything to each other and kill ourselves, and then here we're gonna make a big deal out of a closed fist. Like, I prefer what they did here to the garbage wrestling John Moxley does every week, but I wish they would like drop doing stuff like that, so it would make makes stuff like someone needs a closed fist in the match more important. It's like this would have been the perfect environment for Buddy Landel if he was a wrestler today.
Yes. Mentioning Buddy Landel, that'll bring in the viewers.
You see, Wheeler, he can dye his hair. He can dye his hair blonde.
I want him to badly.
Nature Boy Jimmy Yuta. There we go.
After the match, Clark Connors challenged Wheeler Yuta for the TV title. His way into Yuta's head was talking about how great Katsuyori Shibata is compared to the guys in the Blackpool Combat Club. Wasn't that weird?
I thought that was very AEW thing that happened, so I wasn't thrown off by it.
You weren't thrown off by the fact that he just comes out there and is like, you know who's great? Not you or me, but Katsuyori Shibata.
Well, I forgot Clark was even in Ring of Honor. This ain't the first time I've seen him, but I don't think I've ever seen him wrestle. But like, it does. Now that you bring that up, I do remember that happening. It sort of like it continues to put this idea or thought into our head, like Wheeler's the junior member of the Blackpool Combat Club. And now they're talking, oh man, my trainer's this guy. Like, they're going for a title. These guys are supposed to be champions, or Wheeler's a champion and Clark's challenging. Like, why do they do this to them?
I don't know.
Oh, and fuck Shibata too. He fucking jobbed to Orange Cassidy like that. Like, fuck him. I don't give like two shits about him anymore. Was it him? Yeah.
My only note was Clark Connors is 1988 Vince McMahon's retort to Adam Page, in the same vein as Hakeem the African Dream. Like he seems like a direct, like, hey, I'm a cowboy too, I don't know. None of it worked for me. The match was fine, but I don't care about the title anymore. Actually, I never cared about the title, being truthfully. I watched the tournament to crown the champion. I love Ring of Honor, obviously, but the title doesn't do anything for me. And Wheeler Yuta, I don't think is the guy to establish it.
Man, I can't wait till like Wheeler, like the full moment finally comes when Jericho has to do the job to old Wheeler.
Well, he's got a decade to do jobs now.
Yeah.
Up next, we had Rhett, Titus, and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams vs. Aussie Open. Aussie Open won in 20 minutes and 20 seconds after hitting a tag team move I believe they call Coriolis. Well, what were your thoughts on this one?
I really enjoyed this match. I don't know if I've ever seen it before. I might have, and I just don't remember. Like, I was really impressed when they had Rhett up for a delayed suplex and they traded him off. Like, I thought that was cool. Like, I don't even care if that's unrealistic. Like, that's a cool spot. Yeah, I'm looking over the notations here. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah. Fucking one of the guys did a hand palm shoot off. Guys, stop doing that. And I thought the finishing maneuvers by Aussie Open in the last 30 seconds, last minute were pretty sick. Like that pile driver was sick on I don't remember who it was. Maybe
Mark Davis did the pile driver. Kyle Fletcher did the Tilt-A-Whirl Tombstone.
Yeah, that pile driver was sick.
Yes.
And the I think this is the first time I've seen the Aussie Open as a team. Like the finisher was really great. Like not as sick as I felt like they could have finished it after that pile driver, but their finishing move as a tag team is great too.
It is. It seems really dangerous to me though. Like you miss the rotation a little bit, and the guy's gonna be crippled. But they took it.
They ought to do that to Luther and Serpentico.
I thought this was the best match of the night. You said last week you thought maybe Tracy and Rhett weren't long for the promotion. I hope not, man. Because those guys did everything they could to get these guys over. And they gave them everything. This match was awesome.
Yeah.
So do you still think they're not long for the promotion, or?
They're not being used well, I'd say. Like, I don't want them to, like, just be losing all the time, honestly.
I would like them to get paid. And AEW is, like, the only place I could imagine them being paid.
Oh, come on. Rick could go to WWE and fucking do something like manage that team that LA Knight was going to, but then he went back to being LA Knight.
I don't know. I don't know if Rhett could do that. Maybe he could. Up next we had Eddie Kingston versus Ben Dejo. Kingston won the match in 42 seconds with a spinning back fist. Do you have any thoughts?
So, for those who aren't in the know, Ben Dejo is Serpentico unmasked. So Tony likes doing these things where people get unmasked and they become a different character. Like the same thing happened with Ten and Preston becoming Preston Vance. Just here, it was on the same show. Did we did we need to see Serpentico twice? Like I don't remember if I brought this joke up. Like you talked to your friend about ideas, and I actually had this idea with Kitty too. Is if you do a spot show and you could like have the same two wrestlers, like one guy put on a mask and he'll wrestle him, and then like another guy, like one guy takes the mask off and the other guy puts a mask on, and then they wrestle, and then maybe they could have a match with two masks on, like just to like get the most out of one wrestler in a show. Like didn't do that with Serpentico here.
I wonder if maybe they're killing the character off. I mean, they did say that he just became the first guy to get 100 losses in AEW. Maybe they're killing him off. This Ben Dejo is going to be a jobber for a while, and then maybe they'll bring back Serpentico and push him. I don't know.
What kind of like, why does someone need to get to 100 losses to finally be kicked off AEW? Like,
it boggles the mind.
I even feel like 10 is a lot. Like, especially when they have their record. Like, if we didn't have those AEW records, like we would have to look on Cage Match to know. Like without the AEW records thing, you could probably get away with like having someone do jobs for a couple months in a row or something, and like, oh, it's so and so on YouTube again. Like, who would give a shit? And maybe they're on Dynamite once or something. But yeah, with the records, it makes it ridiculous. Anyway, about the match, Ben Dejo, like when he was selling Eddie's chops in the corner, it made me think about, if you ever seen it, when Big Daddy Yum Yum wrestled Kojima in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, it wasn't quite that bad. I'll say that it wasn't quite that bad, but it was still ridiculous. I did like I thought the finish with the backfist to the future was hilarious. This match was exactly what it needed to be. You have any thoughts on it?
No, I don't know. It seemed like a nice thing for the crowd. I don't think Eddie needed it. I wonder, I guess my only thought is, did Serpentico get double pay for working two matches?
I bet not.
I bet, knowing Tony, that he did.
I mean, you're probably right, but if it was me, I'd say you even being here is enough. Like, if you want double pay, we'll just get someone else to do that. You're not even good at being a job, dude.
Well, for the tapings, they brought in a lot of wrestlers that they didn't use, right?
Even for Ring of Honor?
Yeah, for this set of tapings, they brought in a lot of independent wrestlers or former Ring of Honor wrestlers that they didn't use. The only name that got out was Dak Draper, but I guess the report was that Tony paid them all more than their average booking fee to come and do nothing.
This is WCW again, isn't it? Wow. Like even TNA wasn't that stupid. They did whatever the fuck people on pay.
Do you think Shad Khan knows how generous Tony is with Shad's money?
I don't think he knows.
Yeah, I don't think he knows either.
I think
I think it's a good thing, by the way. I like when wrestlers get paid. I don't think it's a bad thing that these guys are getting paid.
They might as well get paid now. I mean, Tony. This is just Tony's vanity project. It's gonna go the same way TNA went. Like, I know that pisses some people off, but that's just the reality of what's going on here. I mean, this could become a legitimate business, but as long as it is what it is right now, it's Tony's playground. It's a sandbox.
I think it's definitely Tony's playground, and I don't think you can argue that. But it's also kind of a legitimate business in the sense that it wouldn't take a lot to make it profitable. You would just have to stop making so many silly decisions.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like, they would have made money last year if it wasn't for the video game. That's the one thing that, that they could have done without. I don't know. Maybe they'll make $1 million out of video games. I don't know anything. Like, my dad's not a billionaire.
If they get 50,000, 100,000 new fans from the video game, it'll be a success.
Yeah, absolutely. That might.
I don't know if that'll happen. All right, we ready to move to the main event?
No, because after Eddie did that, he called out Claudio, and he's like, "Dude, bro, defend the title." True. And Claudio was like, "Nah, bro, G, I don't defend it against people who aren't honorable. Like, fuck you."
And then Eddie chased him through the backstage area.
See, I forgot about that part. That was actually kind of funny.
And it's sort of weird dialogue there. I believe that girl's name's Lexi Nair, but I don't know. But Eddie said something like, "I thought I was gonna come here and what? Something like that." Sort of weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
So obviously we're having this match. So, do you think that's an effective way to build toward the match?
I do like the intrigue of Claudio saying no and maybe forcing Eddie to earn the match. I hope it's not like MJF all over again where, alright, I'm throwing this guy at you. I'm throwing this guy at you. Like, I think Claudio should say, you're not an honorable person. You're beating up job guys after matches, which strangely he didn't even do here. So, like, he was doing it in AEW all the time. And he didn't do it here. If that happened, Claudio could have said, you're not an honorable man. Like, I don't, this is Ring of Honor, not, this ain't Combat Zone Wrestling. Get the hell out of here. Like, if they did things to make Eddie an asshole, like, I feel like it would work. But they're not doing that. Yeah, I think the only reason it's intriguing is because it is just Eddie versus Claudio. There's nothing in the storyline that's added to it at all.
Yeah, it seems a little suspicious.
It is sus. It is sus.
After that, we got a backstage promo with Willow, Nightingale, and then Athena. I thought this was very good, the promo, and they could have used a lot more of this on this show and a lot less Dr. Luther.
I like the match, but Ian compared Athena to Plumber Moxley.
Ian Riccaboni.
Yeah, Riccaboni. Not Flex Donovan.
I'm also Ian.
He claims that. I'm kidding. Anyway, Riccaboni compared Athena to Plumber Moxie, and I was like, "Oh, really, dude? You're gonna do her in like that?" Then she's like doing all these things outside the ring, and like part of the finish was Athena dropping Willow onto the ramp, and then
Yeah.
doing the ovation, finishing her off. So I do see the comparison now. Um, I really enjoyed Willow here and her getting serious. I like that. I felt like Athena really brought out the best in her. You know, her being bitchy and forcing Athena to not be a goof.
I thought Athena was really good here. She laid stuff in, and she really needed to if she was going to get this bigger girl sympathy. And I mean bigger than her, not she's, you know. It's hard to get, if you're a heel and you're smaller than your opponent, it's hard to get sympathy on the babyface. But she did a great job. And obviously Willow is good.
Yeah.
We're 2 shows deep into the new era of Ring of Honor. And the only person they've started to build up as a challenger for the Women's World title just lost for the Women's World title. Do you think that's smart?
No, I was wondering, like, why this was happening here, because, you know, I would have thought this would be something they do at Supercard of Honor, and now the only other person they have to challenge for the title is Trish, and no one knows who the hell she is. You know, like, yeah, like, they got nothing for a Supercard unless, you know, they bring back Mercedes for 1 second.
Is Mercedes Martinez from California?
I have no idea.
I feel like maybe she is.
You know what? I mean, all these people could be from California, and I wouldn't know. Like,
there were women's matches on the first show, but I remember Sky Blue and Madison Rain beat the Renegade Twins. There was also a singles match, right?
Lady Frost wrestled Willow.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, as far as singles wrestlers, the only contender that hasn't lost is Trish Adora, who I believe was the heel in her match. Kind of. If there was a heel, she kind of worked heel. I don't know if that makes her a heel.
Yeah, you know, we didn't really get to know
right
yet. I'm really hoping they don't bring in Emi Sakura. Like, that'll just make me cry.
I don't know what else they would do other than Mercedes Martinez, but honestly, I'm guessing it's just a Willow rematch, and I don't know how we get there, but it seems like something they'd do.
Look, here's how we're gonna know who's the next challenger. Next week, there's gonna be a women's match, and whoever wins that match will, like, go over to the ropes. They're gonna look at the crowd. They're gonna wait. They're gonna point at the Supercard of Honor sign, and they're gonna do the wink. That's
but
gonna happen.
How are they gonna do that when Slim J's in the way doing it already?
Well, actually, okay. So that has me think. The problem is you got me thinking now. So Sunny Kiss. so Sunny Kiss is fluid. So wouldn't Sunny Kiss be able to challenge for the women's title?
I suppose.
Man, we're gonna have to ask the fans. How do you feel about Sunny Kiss challenging for the Ring of Honor women's title?
I don't care as long as Sunny doesn't win.
Yeah, that's fine. I enjoyed this show better than last week's. I don't know if it's worth a 7 on Cage match, but that's why I gave it, because I liked it more. How about you?
Oh, that totally stole one of my questions from. I feel like it would be like a solid 7.5, 8 show if you took the best 4 or 5 matches and segments. Like, if you just took the best stuff, this is a good show. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of crap. Yeah. A lot of really needless crap that serves no purpose at all. So, I don't know, 6.5, 7. It's fine.
You know what? And I thought about this, like, just before we started the podcast, or even before we got in the Discord call. Like, this show would have been so much better if you cut everything out before the Wheeler Yuta match.
You gotta include the Kingdom promo backstage, but yes.
Yeah. You know, I mean, sometimes there's casualties to war, Ian. Like, to kill Dr. Luther and Mark Sterling. Sometimes
you could just
innocents.
reformat the show. You don't have to cut a half the show out.
I know, I'm just being silly.
Alright, are you ready to move on to the question portion of this episode of our podcast?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Alright, it's time for some quick takes. I'm going to ask you a series of questions. It was 5, now it's only 4. And I'd like you to give me the first answer that pops into your head.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
Using only one word.
Was that the first question? I'm sorry.
Now it is. Now it is. How do you answer?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Using only one word, describe this episode of Ring of Honor on Honor Club.
Long.
Okay. If you could cut one person from this show, who would it be?
Dr. Luther.
Who should be the next Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions?
Aussie Open.
If you could pick one person to give Tony Khan 5 minutes of heartfelt, meaningful advice on how to book wrestling, who would it be?
Bill Watts.
There you go. Clap for him, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
He successfully answered 5 questions. But we have 5 more.
Oh, wow.
I know. What were you going to say?
I only got one question for you, though.
Okay.
Do you think when Jake Manning, Man Scout, was promoting $5 when he was promoting $5 wrestling, do you think he was paying Freight Train, or was he was just taking advantage?
No, I don't think Freight Train got any money. Or if Freight Train got any money, it was maybe $20.
Do you think he was taking advantage of him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know there was a reason to hate fucking Man Scout. Fuck you, you're a piece of shit.
I mean, I don't know. I think Freight Train wanted to do it.
Just because, just because someone wants to do it,
maybe made $50. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess at least Freight Train didn't get injured.
Yeah,
maybe he had some fun. I don't know. I don't like it.
That feels like a lifetime ago. $5 wrestling.
Yeah.
They could not do that in the current climate and not be canceled.
Yeah.
That's crazy. What was that? That wasn't even 10 years ago, was it?
I feel
it's like 2014, 15?
Yeah, 2014, 2015, around that time.
Crazy. Time moves fast. Are you ready for the long form questions?
Sure.
There are 5 of them.
Okay.
Okay, as a follow-up on a topic from last week, where we talked about a potential top act for Ring of Honor, how would you feel about the Young Bucks?
They're former Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. They're a top act before. They were never my favorite team, but it makes sense.
Nor mine.
It makes sense. They're definitely thought of as top guys, so... and what are they doing in AEW? They're just in the trios division. That means nothing.
I don't think they are in the trios division, because after they lost the titles, Kenny Omega posted that picture of him with Don Callis teasing a new singles run. So I think the Bucks are headed back to the tag division, potentially to save it from the nightmare Tony Khan has put it in, since the Acclaim lost the titles. But I don't know what. Because Tony Khan thinks everything he does is the best. So maybe he thinks the Guns are doing great.
If that's what's happening, I don't know that's going down in AEW. If that's what's happening, then, we probably won't see the Bucks in Ring of Honor, but I feel like it makes sense to have them there and be the top team. Just, they're not my favorite team. I don't even, I would still pick Aussie Open if they were there as a preference, but we gotta look into the reality of who's the most over, who's the names, sometimes you gotta do that. And
well, they don't necessarily have to be the champions to be the top act on the show. There is a lot of time, the top act in Ring of Honor wasn't the champion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I'd be fine with them being in Ring of Honor, especially because it's Honor Club, so people have to pay and they'll bring interest in.
I'm for it. I say bring the Young Bucks back to Ring of Honor, especially if FTR is leaving. But even if they're not, give one of them Ring of Honor, give the other one AEW, let them meet once a year, and we'll have a best of 7 series over 7 years. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on Cody Rhodes saying in an interview that he watched AEW Revolution on an illegal stream?
No, I don't have any thoughts on that.
Well, in his interview, he said he was proud of Ricky Starkz, Julia Hart, Malachi Black, and MJF. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I could see him being proud for MJ of it. He's proud of MJF for what he's able to accomplish in the fantastic match. I think I get that he's friends with Malachi, but did he actually do something that was like even in that environment? Like, what could he have done that was good, maybe impressive, but it's still the Trios division. It's still the House of Black. It's still the House of Black is their version of the Trustbusters, honestly.
Oh, who is the Malachi Black of the Trustbusters? Is it Mark Sterling? Oh, it's Daivari.
Yeah.
Is Julia Hart the Mark Sterling of?
Yes.
Wow, tough for Julia.
I don't know, or maybe she's the Sunny Kiss. I don't know.
Per Andrew Zarian, AEW is getting another TV show on Warner property. The rumor is it will air Saturdays at 6:05 on TBS. This is the 4th hour of national TV for AEW. Do you think it will have anything to do with Ring of Honor, and should it?
Yes, because it shouldn't, but we've seen with Rampage, Mark Briscoe was just on there. We didn't even talk about this, but it that bothered me watching Joe be on Ring of Honor after just losing to Wardlow. We can't even. There's no separation between the two. Anyway, other than Eddie had to quit to be in Ring of Honor for whatever reason, even though everyone else gets to be in the two promotions at the same time.
That is stupid.
Yeah. There's too much Tony's booking right now, so he shouldn't be booking more wrestling. If you have to. I was saying he has to drop Dark Elevation now that he's booking Ring of Honor, and if this is true, he's just putting more on his plate. And I would want less of the Ring of Honor product, both products, to be involved with each other.
So,
I'll just say, unfortunately, we probably do need Ring of Honor on AEW just to get the word out there on these things.
I don't think it's going to involve Ring of Honor. I don't know what they're going to do, but I feel like if Tony felt he was close to a TV deal with Ring of Honor, he would not have relaunched on Honor Club. I guess we'll see. So earlier I asked you if you could pick one person to give Tony Khan 5 minutes of heartfelt, meaningful advice on how to book wrestling. And I'm bringing that back up because you're talking about Tony Khan having too much on his plate. I thought about that last night, that question. That the one person who, if you only had a few minutes to give advice to Tony Khan, that would be the best person in the world to give him advice right now is Vince McMahon. And even at the end of his booking, and there is a lot of horrible shit going on in Vince's booking for 20, 30 years, really. But even at the end, the one thing he understood was you have to narrow focus. Not just for you, but for your audience. That's how you create stars. A narrow focus. Now, he went way too narrow at times, but goddamn, does Tony Khan need to hear that speech? 4 hours of TV? Does he do 1 hour good?
The last hour of Ring of Honor was good there.
That's not on TV though. That's not on national.
You're right. But what are you talking about? Samoa Joe's the world television champion, so how can he defend the world television title
That's
on a
true.
non-televised show? I'm
Well.
kidding. So should he be the world Ring of Honor World Streaming Champion? No.
And I don't think they should change. Yeah, I don't care. They don't really need a TV. If they're gonna have guys like the Trustbusters on this show, they don't need a TV belt.
No, they're good.
They needed a mid-card belt for 10 years because guys like Jay Lethal were going to have it, not because it was going to be the Tony Deppen division.
Yeah. No, we're going to have like a Ring of Honor United States Openweight Tag Team Champions, and the Trustbusters are going to hold those for like 200 days. We're going to have like the Ring of Honor Tap Out title or some shit.
Alright, have you heard the latest Chris Jericho nonsense?
I heard something.
Alright, I'm gonna give you a quote here. You ready?
Yeah.
At the time, we were using Ring of Honor guys on Dynamite, and nobody knew what it was, or nobody knew what the point was, or what Ring of Honor even was. So let me give this belt a reason to be on the show. Explaining why he needed to be the champion. Okay, that comment drove me insane. What were your thoughts on that?
I just don't take him seriously. So, it's like, what if Donald Trump said something stupid? Like, I mean, like Chris Jericho's full of shit. He's even idiotic. I think. I mean, look at his behavior during the pandemic, his wife's behavior. I don't like him as a person. One of our friends, I'll bring up Jay Lethal over. We're like, I don't like watching him because he's a piece of shit. Well, Chris Jericho probably got more people killed than Chris Benoit. Considering he ran Sturgis during the pandemic. That's just, statistically speaking, it'd have to be true.
Well, I don't know if it would have to be. I guess it's possibly true, but it's also possible Chris Benoit killed other people.
It's true. I mean, he was the crippler.
That was the craziest take. Man. Okay. Back to Chris Jericho. I remember when he said something like he was the only name in AEW at the start, as if Cody Rhodes isn't the actual living fucking son of Dusty Rhodes. Like, Cody Rhodes wasn't in main event angles on WWE TV in the decade previous. And this pissed me off because Dynamite gets less viewers every week right now than Being the Elite got when those guys were in Ring of Honor.
Wow.
They had multiple million view episodes when they were all in Ring of Honor. Dynamite is lucky to hit 1 million now, right?
Yeah. I mean,
there you go.
And like,
bullshit, Chris.
People get pissed off, but AEW gets lower ratings than TNA did at its peak.
What? How many people were watching in 2011 when CM Punk mentioned Ring of Honor in the pipe bomb speech? 7 million, something like that?
Oh,
maybe it's 5.
I thought you meant Ring of Honor. The numbers at the start.
Oh no,
were like
come
1 million people or something.
No, I mean, this is just stupid from Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho really is the new Hogan. He doesn't outright lie. He just exaggerates how big a star he is by 100,000 degrees.
Yeah. Some of that is he's a pro wrestler, but he takes it way too far to being ridiculous. And honestly, like, I don't think I've enjoyed much of what he's had to do with in wrestling for the past maybe not 10 years, but maybe 8.
I haven't liked much of what he's done on AEW. There is a sick part of me that just stands in awe of the amount of money he's been able to get from Tony Khan. But I mean, in terms of actually on the show, I don't know.
I don't know how you could be surprised or whatnot. I mean, just you told me, like, he brought in, like, Dak Dripper and, like, we're going to use Serpentico twice on the show instead of, like, bringing you on to do a job to Eddie Kingston.
You ready for this, Moose? By the time his 10-year career or 10-year contract is up, Chris Jericho will have gotten more money out of Tony Khan than Hulk Hogan got out of WCW.
Fuck yeah, dude. Drain that motherfucker.
In fucking awe of this man. In his 50s! In his 50s!
I'm gonna say it now. Chris Jericho's now a better wrestler than Kevin Nash. Eat shit, fucking diesel. He's gonna fucking vampire this fucking money mark.
You fucking no-draw loser, Nash. Look at all that money Jericho's drawn straight from the cons.
Why? Like, it's crazy. No way he's worth that. Like,
he's such a carny fuck. He, like, right as after the CM Punk shit went down, he went to renegotiate. He was like, I'll never be more valuable than right now. Tony thinks his whole business is in disrepair. I can get a fucking monster deal. And he went and he got it.
Genius.
He's a carny, man. In terms of old time wrestlers, Jericho's a goddamn legend.
Wow. That's incredible. What a fucking genius, dude. and fucking Hannibal was out there wrestling for free or matches on YouTube. you need to learn to work, buddy. Like Jericho.
Alright, last question. Dalton Castle is the latest guest on RJ City's YouTube talk show, Hey EW. Are you gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'll watch it for Dalton. Like, I like the one with Jarrett.
I think it's a funny show. I give it my lowest grade yet. 2 thumbs up. So,
what's happening next week? Oh yeah, Wheeler's defending the title against Clark because Shibata is fucking awesome.
Is that all that's happening?
The Trustbusters will probably wrestle someone and make me sad.
Right, is it on Cage Match?
Oh, the shows? Yeah.
How many episodes did they tape?
Looks like there's another 2 episodes.
Oh my god, they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20 or 21 matches, depending on if I miscounted, that are already taped. My goodness.
And no Dak wrestling either.
Yeah, imagine you tape 40 matches and Tony Khan is like, yeah, I know I had Serpentico wrestle 7 matches, but you're just not good enough to get on the show, Dak. Do you have any closing thoughts?
Let's see. Can we please, Tony, no more Dr. Luther on this show? Come on, bro. Come on.
Oh, if you had to pick Dr. Luther or Smart Mark Sterling, you can only get rid of one. The other one is on the show every week.
I mean, like, I thought you were going to say you could only shoot one. I was like, definitely Dr. Luther. I'd have Mark hold him for me. What about you, Dr. Luther or Smart?
I hate Mark Sterling so much. I honestly don't like Dr. Luther. I think it's funny how much you hate him. I think it's really funny how much you hate him. But I really hate Mark Sterling. I would rather Mark Sterling not be on the show. I don't think you should have a Ring of Honor if you're going to have a guy named Smart Mark on it. Like, it defeats the whole point of Ring of Honor is that, they're not embarrassed that this is wrestling. It's wrestling. Yeah. Smart Mark is embarrassed that this is wrestling. He's an idiot. He's a silly gimmick. Please get it off this damn show. Like, keep the Trustbusters. I don't even care. I've seen far worse guys in Ring of Honor shows than the Trustbusters. Slim J can be on every show.
They weren't even the worst wrestlers on this show.
Oh, not even close. Which, Trish Adora looked like she could barely run the ropes. I don't remember her being bad, but she looked like a wounded gazelle.
Yeah.
And I'd rather watch Slim. I'd like to watch Slim J, actually, come to think of it, squash everybody in the embassy.
Hell yeah.
Especially Brian Cage.
Especially him. Brian Cage, you're Is he your first or second favorite member of the Border Patrol?
I don't even know what the Border Patrol is.
Remember there were the stable feuding with Blue Demon Jr. when he was NWA World Champion?
No. I can confidently tell you no. I didn't watch it, and I don't want to.
So, yeah, the leader was Oliver John, and he was backed up by Brian Cage and Rick Dick, now LA Knight.
That's a great name. Why isn't that on this show?
Yeah. Hey. Well,
it's been a show.
It's been a show.
And it's been long as fuck again.
We almost went hour and a half again. Wow.
I know. We made really good time in the first half of the show, and then it just went haywire as we started talking about things that didn't suck.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
It's real easy to cut from the show when it sucks.
Well, I don't know. Like we're gonna have to spend look at how much I talk about Dr. Luther. I know it wasn't long.
Maybe we should release 2 podcasts a week. One where we talk about everything that's not Dr. Luther or Mark Sterling related, and one where we only talk about those guys, and Slim J. How much we hate them.
Yeah, I still can't believe he didn't sell for Bruce's.
Bruce should have beat his ass.
What a piece of shit, man.
If he had done that to Sheamus, he'd be dead right now.
Yeah, he needs to do that to Sheamus. Anyway. Anyway, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Honor Forever with your host, not Ian Riccaboni, but Flex Donovan.
Thank you.
Moose Nugget, your co-host. We're on Gopher and Tuck every Tuesdays. Was it in Texas time, like 10 a.m. or some shit?
I don't know. He said 8 a.m., but I don't know if that means East Coast or his time. Tuesday mornings, probably around 8 a.m. Go and look, But also, it's early. Nobody needs to hear about Dr. Luther at 8 a.m.
Yeah,
in fact, that should be on a shirt. No, nobody needs to hear about Dr. Luther before 5 p.m. when you can drink.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we will see you.